Hey guys, we are here today to show you how to make your tent weights using a PVC pipe and some concrete. And we got my hubs and we got my grandson Jackson, and we are going to be creating a tent weight. How much is it going to weigh, dear?
Well, we're using 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC pipe, and when you put cement in it, roughly every foot will give you a little over 10 pounds, 10, 11 pounds. So we cut ours 30 inches long, so you can get 4 pieces out of a 10-foot stick. And for the 30 inches, we'll get around 33, 34 pounds. Now, if you need more than that, just cut it 40 inches and you'll have 43 to 44 pounds.
Okay.
So just going to what weight you're looking for. Now, since we use 10-inch spikes to anchor the tent down to, we figure this will be enough for us.
Right, and I usually tell people to do 40 pounds per leg, and because we also use our grid walls along to the tent, it adds weight.
Walls to the ground too, so that gives it a little bit more pull against high winds.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that makes it more sturdy. So guys, if you aren't adding additional weight to your tent, you would probably want to go a little bit longer on the tubing and put more cement in it to make it a little heavier, right?
That's right.
Okay.
And when you do the cement now, just when you're making like a 30-pound weight, it don't necessarily, you don't have to buy 60 pounds of cement because you're adding water to the cement, which adds weight to it. So basically a 50-pound bag of cement will do 2 30-inch pipes with a little bit left over.
Okay, great. Well, that's very helpful.
Okay, so you can get what you want to do, you want to cap one end, and you can get the over-the-top caps, which cost a little bit more, and some of them are rounded, so it makes it a little bit not stable when you set them down on the ground. I like to use these knockout plugs because they're a lot cheaper and they do the job. So just take one, use your rubber hammer, knock it in place, and then to prepare the other end, so you want to put an eye bolt in, and you want to have it, and the reason you need the eye bolt so you hook a strap to it and hook it to the tent, right?
What kind of strap do we use? What kind of strap do we use?
We just use a regular pull strap, or you can use a ratchet strap, whichever.
Okay.
And a 1-inch wide would be more than enough
Okay.
because they're rated up to like 350, 400 pounds. So,
Okay.
you need to use at least a 3/8 or larger eye bolt and at least 5 inches long. Longer is not going to hurt. But whatever you use, you drill a hole in the center of another knockout, put your eye bolt through there, and then you put a nut on, just maybe a 1/2 inch up on the threads, and get you a fender washer, which is, the fender washer's got a smaller hole to fit this, but it's a bigger than normal diameter. And then you put another nut on the bottom of it. The reason you want to do that, you're going to insert this down in the cement once you get it full, and this anchors this eye. Once the cement sets up, this washer will anchor the eye bolt where it won't pull out. But you want to hold the washer in place, because if you don't, when you go to push it down in there, your washer will just slide up there and then you don't have any grip at all.
Okay. Yeah, good to know. Thank you.
And just for convenience for carrying, you don't have to do this, but I put a handle on the side of the pipe, and we'll attach that in just a minute. I use like the 5-inch. You get these at Walmart.
Okay.
And the reason I use the 5-inch so I can get my hands easier.
Uh-huh.
Right, so. And what we'll do is we'll put 2 normal screws in it, one in this corner, one in the opposite corner, just to hold it in place. And then we'll put some long bolts and washers on it to anchor this in place, so when you pick it up, it won't just
Pull out of the cement.
pull out too. So
Okay.
we'll get started on that here
Okay.
in just a minute.
All right. So tell us again, if somebody was going to do this at home, what things do they need to go to the store and buy to make this happen?
They'll need to get, again, according to how much you want it to weigh, the 4-inch PVC Schedule 40 comes usually in sticks of 10 foot, which is, they'll come longer than that, but the 10 foot's easy to handle, and you put it in the back of your pickup truck and bring it home. And if you do 30 inches, which again will give you roughly 33, 34 pounds, you can get 4 pieces out of one 10-foot stick. If you want 40 plus pounds, you cut them 40 inches long and you get 3 weights per stick. So just according to how many tent weights you need and how much you want them to weigh.
Will the store cut them if a person doesn't have the equipment at home to cut them to size? Will the store cut them for you?
I'm a place like Lowe's, a Home Depot that will cut lumber. I don't know why they wouldn't cut pipe for you as well too.
Okay.
It would be well worth the ask.
Okay.
I mean, I just use my chop saw
Uh-huh.
on it to cut it up, or Sawzall would do it. You just need to have somebody probably help you to hold it steady or clamp it up when you cut through.
Right.
You want to try to cut as straight as possible too.
Okay. Well, good. All right. What else do we need? We
You're
got
gonna
the
get your
pipe.
end caps, 2 for each weight that you're gonna make. And
Okay.
then one just goes in the bottom just to keep the cement from running out.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one for the top.
Okay.
So you can get these knockout plugs, or you can get the normal caps that will fit over the outside.
But get a square one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get one that's flat if you can. Don't get the one that's rounded,
Mm-hmm.
because when you set it down, it'll wobble.
And I will say we have had both types, and I prefer the ones that sit down in it. They don't knock off it like the others
Right,
do.
and you can, if you want to, you could glue the caps on, but
Mm-hmm.
really there's no point in it, because what's gonna hold it in place is that bolt with that cement
That's right.
wrapped around it.
Okay.
Then you'll need to get your eye bolts. You can get these at Lowe's, Home Depot. I actually got these at Walmart for 98 cents a piece, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they may or may not come with at least a nut, but you'll need to get an additional nut and some whatever the
So do you
diameter
have
of the
2
bolt.
nuts on there?
Yes, I have one just to keep the washer from
Aha.
sliding up, and then the bottom one to
Can
keep
you-
the washer from falling off.
There you go. All right. Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So
And again, the option.
and a handle.
If you want to put a handle on it, and the other thing about a handle too, if you think about it, you put a handle on here, if you load them in your trailer laying down, you can actually use your handle as a chock
So
to
roll
keep
around.
it from rolling around in your trailer.
Okay.
It serves a purpose.
So it doesn't matter what color the handle is, because you can always spray paint
Yeah.
this to get a solid color when you're done, right?
Yeah, because
Okay.
we painted your old ones.
Right. And so we just go with an inexpensive handle, or do they need to get
Yeah, like
pretty
I say,
heavy
I got
duty?
These were at Walmart. I don't think
Yeah,
they were
just
more
the
than
basic handle.
$1.50,
Okay.
$2 a piece.
All right.
You just want to get kind of like a heavy duty one, so it won't, because you're picking up 30 to 40 pounds, so you don't want it to bend when you drive.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to cut to part 2, guys, while he gets ready to put the handle on. So stay tuned and go to part 2. Hey guys, welcome back to part 2, and Troy is going to show us how he's doing his measuring and going to put this handle on. If you didn't catch part 1, he is showing us how to make a cement tent weight using a PVC pipe, and here we go. All right, Troy.
Alright, so what I did, I just measured halfway down the pipe, which ours is 30 inches, so I measured down 15. And I'm gonna just eyeball this and center it up. And I'm using the writing that's on the pipe that helps me keep the handle straight.
That's
So
a
you
great
don't have
tip. Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'm just gonna put, and these are just some screws I had laying around, but any kind of outdoor screws will do. The handle will come with some screws, but typically they're really short.
Right.
They're not gonna be good enough to do what we're trying to do. So,
All right.
You can
So
hold it on?
yeah.
yes.
Don't chop
Yeah,
it.
just, there's a middle mark, so you're good.
Okay, just don't chop the hand off.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Teaching the young ones skills they need to
Okay.
know.
We'll put another one down in this opposite corner. And this is not what's gonna hold the weight of the pipe, this is just gonna hold the handle in place when we put the other, when
Okay.
we put the bolts in there.
So you put one on one side and one on the other, and just kind of opposite sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you want, you can drill a pilot hole if you want to with these screws, we don't have to.
Okay.
Alright. So, I bought these at, I think I got these at Lowe's. These are 10 by 20, number 10 by 24 bolts that's 2.5 inches long. And the reason I got the 10 by 24 is because they'll fit the holes that's in the handle, so I don't have to drill these holes out.
Okay.
When you drill a hole in the plastic.
Yeah. So, Jackson, you'll just drill a hole here, buddy.
Where are you drilling the hole? Right through the. Where
the
the.
two remaining holes of the handle.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
All right, so take your bolt, stick it in there. As you see, it fits right through that handle. Now, if you get a different kind of handle, you may need to make sure the bolt, or you can drill a hole out bigger in the handle. Now,
Here's an oven.
so now we're gonna do something very similar here that we did to your eye bolt. We're gonna put one nut up on the threads, then put a washer, and then put another bolt on it to hold it in place.
Hey, with the bolt down there though.
Oh, you gotta have long arms for this, or skinny arms.
Oh, I got skinny arms. But my hand.
But that's the reason you want to put the handle about halfway too, so you can.
Yeah, so you can reach it.
I mean, that's a 4-inch pipe, so.
Oh no,
You dropped it. Yay.
this is the tricky part.
Let me do it, Poppy. I got small hands.
Sure, buddy. Yeah, just put one. We may have to pull this cap off so you can get to it from this end, but just run it up maybe half an inch or so.
I'm gonna stab the crap with my arm.
You'll be all right.
Getting it? Oh, I hear it going on. Okay. So you got to put a nut, a washer, and then a nut,
Yeah,
and that keeps it from pulling up out of the concrete when you're pulling on the handle, right?
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it basically will just anchor it down into the concrete.
Uh-oh.
Get my hand out here without stabbing it. I'll drop that.
Y'all gonna drop those in the lake.
Yeah, probably. I don't know that one.
Oh, we'll get some place. Oh, you're trying to do that? Do we need to take this cap off?
Crap.
They'll get it eventually.
Ow.
This is the most tedious part.
This one. Let's finish this one.
That one. Oh, I got it.
Okay.
That one's already got it on.
Okay. All right, now put a washer on this one. And we'll turn it down like that. That way the washer won't fall off when you get it on there.
How?
The reason we're using 2.5-inch bolts here, because it'll put that washer, once you get the nut set on it, about middle ways of the pipe, so you got plenty of cement to hold it in place, so when you go to pick it up, you'll have no movement whatsoever.
Okay, great. So you don't have to put the nut and the washer up against it on
No,
the.
you want it in the middle.
You-
You just want it in the, yeah,
All right, there you
Okay, so you want it toward the end,
yeah,
kind of.
towards the end. Yep, that's good.
go. All right,
Okay.
there you go.
All right, they're gonna do the next one.
Yeah.
It's sort of like what, Jackson?
Like sticking my hand into a pipe full of nails.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just gotta be careful of those screws you put in there. So.
Ow.
You just gotta have a little patience. You'll get it.
And to be honest with you, when I made the rest of them, I didn't have this cap on, so I could come up from this end to get this bottom one. It makes
Gotcha.
it a little bit easier.
Yeah. So put your screws and your handle with the screws on, and then put your
And then
cap.
put your cap on.
Okay. That's a good tip.
And having a child or a younger kid helps. So you can
Yeah.
make your child labor.
That's right.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, all we gotta do is give him a brownie, he's happy.
Yeah.
All right, so that's got a handle in place. So now we'll just mix the cement up. And again, since I'm older, I buy the 50-pound bags of cement. 'Cause I don't like handling the 80-pound bags anymore.
Do they make a
And-
20-pound bag?
No, not really. They do make a 40-pound bag.
Okay.
But then when we come back, I'll show you how I set these up and a bucket to hold them steady
Okay.
to pour the cement into it. And then that'll be and then you'll work your cap down in there. And we'll take a hammer.
All right.
Knock any air bubbles out
We'll
of
get
it, let
that.
the cement settle.
Okay.
That'll be it.
All right. Almost done. Y'all come back for part 3.
These can help out.
All right. We're mixing the cement. How did you mix it, dear?
I'm just mixing a little bit at a time so it's easier to pick it up and kind of put it in the pipe.
Uh-huh.
So I just put a little water in the bottom of the bucket, cut the bag open.
What kind of consistency do you want it to be?
Well, I'm mixing it up now with my trowel. You can use a hoe or shovel, whatever or you can mix it up in a wheelbarrow, whichever is better for you. So that's a little too soupy right now.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go to pour it in there, it'll make a mess. I'm going to add a little bit more cement to it, make it a little bit thicker.
Don't mess with that with your hands, Jackson. It'll make them itch.
Cement?
Yeah.
Well, it's got that lime in it, it'll burn. Wow, buddy.
You really should have some gloves on for this, but
Yeah.
you know, Farmer Troy here, he's just winging it. You should have some, not only gloves, but probably a mask so that you don't get that cement
You
dust.
definitely want to mix this up outside. You don't want to do
Yes.
it in an enclosed space.
So just a disclaimer there, don't do as we do as we say do.
Do as I say, not as I do.
That's right. Put your appropriate personal protective gear on.
You drop sweat in there, it's not going to hurt.
It might help her a little bit, actually.
Now you gotta add a little more water.
And again, keep in mind when you buy a 50-pound bag of cement, you mix it up, it's going to weigh more than the 50 pounds because you add more to it.
Okay.
So one 50-pound bag of cement will most likely do 2 of those
Okay.
30-inch pipes, or 30 plus pound weights.
Okay. So if you're gonna do the bigger ones, you need 3 bags probably.
And again, according to how many
Yeah, how many you're making.
don't make.
Sorry about that.
All right, that looks like a good consistency. It's not too wet, not too dry. You want to make sure you got it mixed up good too. All right,
You never get one of the pipes?
no, we're going to do that in here.
All right, guys, we have made up our pipes and got them ready for the cement. We've mixed up our cement and got it just the right consistency. And now it is time to pour the cement. And we got our own little homemade little cement holder there. It's just a bucket with some pieces of wood in there just to kind of hold them up, right,
Yeah,
dear?
just to hold the pipes as level
Okay.
as you possibly can get them. So when you're filling them up, you get them as much cement as you can in there.
And we moved to the shade because, y'all, it's hot.
And it's going to take this cement a while to cure out inside these pipes.
Uh-huh.
So you want to end up with them in a place that's, protected from the weather.
Okay.
So once we get done, we'll close the shed up and leave them in here for 3 or 4 days, and they should be good to go.
Okay.
While you put the cement in here, you want to make sure your bolts and your handles
All the way through.
stay flush, right? So
Now, you said that it has to cure out. How long? Is it 72 hours that would be best?
at minimum, yeah, 72
Okay.
hours. Because again, it's packing it down in this pipe. It's going to take it a little bit longer to.
Okay.
Again, just mix up whatever you can handle. If you got a better way to get this in the pipe, that's good. Main thing is don't get in too big a hurry so you don't make too big a mess. And have an assistant who don't mind getting cement on their hands. This will pack down pretty good because you're dropping it down a pretty good height to start with. But when we get about halfway up, we'll take a rubber mallet kind of hit on the side of the pipe. Yep.
You need a little bit more right there. Like straight down the edge. You want me to hit it with a mallet?
Yeah. Tap on it. That's good.
It's starting to fall down in that gap. There it goes.
All right.
Caps.
Alright, we got the pipes almost full of cement. I stopped about 3/4 up from the top. As I was filling, Jackson was tapping on the side of the pipe with the cement, with the hammer. Doing it by yourself, just stop every so often and tap on it, that way the cement settles. And that 50-pound bag was just enough to do 2 of these 30-inch pipes. So the reason I left these, didn't fill it all the way to the top, because these caps sit down inside the pipe, so you gotta save enough room for these to go down in the pipe. So now you wanna just, again, you got your washer secured right here, so you just wanna take it, work it down
You got this up?
in the cement. You want it down in there as far as it'll go.
Mm.
And now we can tap the cap on, Jackson. If you wanna tap that cap on.
You go. This cap ain't want to be tapped.
There you go, buddy. Good job, man. Alright, just take it, make sure it's kinda straight down in there as far as you can get it to go. And then we'll do the same thing over here. And, alright, Jackson, you tap that one on.
It don't want to be tapped.
You just gotta hit it, buddy.
I really don't want to be tapped.
There you go.
Won't break it.
There you go. That's it. Just work it around. There you go. Good job. Alright, again, we'll just make sure those are straight down in there, not sitting in an angle. And we also want to check, make sure our bolts that we put in the handles are still flush, have worked their way out, because you want them to set up in there.
Yeah, they're good.
And if you want to, you can actually set something on top of these, so you won't have any back pressure pushing them out some, which may or
Like
may
some
not
wood.
happen.
Like some wood with a brick on top.
Yep.
That ain't right. Do I need to put this on?
No, I think these are fine, but it else. Alright, and again, just have your cement consisting of oatmeal, roughly, and should work fine for you now. We'll let these set 3 or 4 days, and then they'll be ready to use.
All right. Thank you, honey.